everyone, this is just a very short video for your reflection this week because it's spring break, not a major assignment, but one of the things I noticed while I was grading your Writing to Learn from a few weeks ago was that some of you are still struggling with citations. And so I just wanted to kind of emphasize the citations because they're just extremely important, a very important part of academic writing, probably arguably one of the most important parts of academic writing, because using your citations correctly will take away that threat of plagiarism. And it's also giving that credibility and that both ethos and logos to your papers. So anyway, this is, again, that basic form of the citation. So author, period, title of publication, period, and so on. And notice after the end of each, it either has a period or a comma, and that's what you will use after each element. The location is extremely important. Some of you did not put the URL, and if you are using a web source, you have to use the URL. Now, you can put date accessed at the end of it, but you don't have to. And as I said earlier in the course, if you don't have an author, you go to the next element, which is title of publication. Let's say it doesn't have a version or a publisher, then you don't have to list it. If it's not there, you can't put it. So again, this was just an example from a few weeks ago. Going back to it, this would be a book, and then you just put in that information. Notice it doesn't have a title of a container because it's a book. Sometimes the title of the publication and the title of the container are the same thing, and sometimes the title of the container and the publisher are the same thing. So you just kind of have to make that judgment based off of what you're seeing from your particular source. And then the creation of the citation. Again, notice it is reverse indented. One of the things I really need to point out to you is that you need to format the titles. So like in this case, go back, it's a book. Notice it's put in italics. Now, if this was an article, I would put the article in quotation marks, and that's extremely important. A lot of you are kind of forgetting to do that, and that actually is an extremely important part of creating the citation. So let's go down. Here's an example of an academic article. So notice I have the author here, but then the title of the article is put in quotation marks. But then the journal, which is a publication in and of itself, and it's a really long journal because it's also written in French because it's Canadian and Canada has 2 national languages. So you'll run into that sometimes. Yes, you have to put the whole thing. It is put in italics because it is a longer publication. I also want you to notice too, even though it's an academic journal, it was found on a website. And so right here, the entire web address is used. Now, some of you last week tried to shorten the web address, or you tried to shorten the title of the publication or whatnot. You can't do that. However it's listed, you have to write it out completely, which I know can kind of be a pain, but that is the correct way to do it. But another thing that I just wanted to point out, a lot of you for your rhetorical analysis, you're like, do I need to have, where does the citation go right afterwards? One, some of you left it off. If you use any quote or paraphrase from a source, you have to create a citation and a works cited page. You have to have both or there is considered plagiarism. And I went over that before, and maybe some of you just missed it, or maybe you didn't get a chance to watch all the videos. But you always have a works cited page, and a works cited page is always its own page by itself. So you don't put the citation directly under the last sentence of your paper. You go to a new page and create a works cited page, and you list all of your sources on that particular page. So for your reflection this week, it has 2 parts. One, what is one thing that you are struggling with when it comes to creating citations? Like something that maybe you're just not getting, or something that you realize, oh, I was doing that wrong. Or do you have it all together? Like, do you think, okay, now I can go into writing this research paper and the annotated bibliography, and I feel 100% comfortable with citations? But if you don't, let me know what you're struggling with, and we'll work on that together. The second part, what did you do for spring break? I'm just curious. I hope none of you floated away on Saturday with all the rain that we had. That was insane. One of my neighbors has one of those water gauges, and we got 6 inches of rain in my neighborhood. So it was kind of a very dreary start to our spring break, but I hope you're having a good one so far. So 2 parts to your reflection. 1, how are you doing with citations? Do you need help? Yes or no? Or let me know if you feel great with them. 2, what are you doing for spring break? So that's about it, and I will see y'all on Monday when we get back.